Did you know that the rate of depression has tripled in the last decade? I cannot say it is because something's wrong with you, but it's because something's right with you. They call it a mental illness, a chemical imbalance, a disorder. But what if your depression is actually your mind's healthy response to a deeply sick world? In this video, we're going to explore a radical idea that what we call depression might often be clear-sightedness in a world that rewards blindness. That your pain isn't something to cure, but something to listen to. I'm not going to give you some tips for feeling better. I'm not going to tell you to just shake it off, but I'm going to suggest something dangerous, that there's wisdom in your wounds, that perhaps you're not broken, perhaps you're just awake. Let's get something straight first. I'm not romanticizing clinical depression. There's nothing poetic about biochemical suffering that steals your will to live. Some depression absolutely requires medical intervention, medication, therapy, community support. But there's another kind of depression, the kind that comes from seeing clearly in a world that demands you blur your vision. The kind that arrives when you stop believing the fairy tales most people use to get through their days. We're living in a world that's designed to make you miserable, and then sell you solutions to that misery. A world that destroys community, and then markets loneliness as independence. You work jobs you hate to buy shit you don't need. You stare at screens showing lives that don't exist. You're told success means climbing ladders that lead nowhere. And when you feel empty inside from all this, they diagnose you, medicate you, tell you the problem is your brain, not the cage they've built around it. The philosopher Jiddu Krishnamurti nailed it when he said, "It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society." Think about it. What's actually crazier? Feeling anguish about a world burning with injustice, or feeling fine about it? What's more insane? Grieving as we drive countless species to extinction, or shrugging it off? Who's really sick? The person weeping for a world at war, or the person who can watch suffering on their screen and then swipe to the next distraction? The ancient Greeks understood this. They had a concept called apatheia, the refusal to be moved by things that shouldn't move you. Its opposite, patheia, meant being affected by everything around you, feeling deeply, responding authentically. Somehow we flipped the script. Now apathy is normal, and pathos is pathology. But what if your depression is actually lucidity? Consider this. Surveys show that people with depression actually have more realistic perceptions of their control over situations than non-depressed people. It's called depressive realism. The happy folks? They're often delusional about how much power they have. You've probably noticed this. While everyone else is posting inspirational quotes about manifesting their best life, you're thinking, this system is rigged, and no amount of positive thinking will change structural inequity. They call your perspective negative. I call it accurate. And accuracy hurts. Truth has teeth. Have you ever noticed how people react when you speak plainly about reality? They get uncomfortable, change the subject, tell you to look on the bright side. That's because most social interaction depends on collective pretending. We all agree to act like things are basically fine. To ignore the elephant in the room, even when that elephant is stomping everything to dust. When you stop playing along, when you point at the elephant, people don't thank you. They diagnose you. The problem isn't that you see darkness. The problem is that you've lost the ability to unsee it. And once you're awake, you can't go back to sleep. That's the real reason your depression feels so isolating. It's not just the pain, it's the knowledge. You've seen through the matrix. And now ordinary reality looks like a thin veneer over something much darker. And here's what no one tells you. This awakening is supposed to hurt. Growth isn't painless. Truth isn't comfortable. Liberation doesn't feel like freedom at first. It feels like falling. The caterpillar doesn't gently evolve into a butterfly. It dissolves completely into formless goo before rebuilding itself. That in-between state, that's where you are. Your depression isn't destruction, it's deconstruction. Necessary collapse before rebuilding. The systems we live in depend on your numbness, your compliance, your willingness to swallow pain and keep going, to accept the unacceptable. Your refusal, your body's refusal, to continue functioning normally in abnormal conditions isn't illness, it's integrity. Ask yourself, in a world of ecological collapse, endless war, exploitation, and manufactured emptiness, wouldn't it be strange to feel perfectly fine? The Serbian poet Nikola Radanovic captured this perfectly. You are not depressed, you are just trying to absorb the information of a world that has already gone mad. But here's where it gets interesting. Because being awake, truly awake, isn't just about seeing what's wrong. It's about seeing everything. including possibility. The same sensitivity that makes you feel the world's pain so deeply also allows you to experience beauty others miss. The same depth that drowns you also lets you access profound wells of creativity, connection, and insight. Your curse is your gift, if you learn to wield it. The first step is simple but radical. Stop pathologizing your pain. Stop accepting the story that your suffering means something's wrong with you. What if you treated your depression not as an enemy to vanquish, but as a messenger to listen to? What if instead of asking, how do I stop feeling this way, you asked, what is this feeling trying to tell me? Your pain isn't random. It's specific. It has intelligence. It's trying to show you what in your life or our world needs attention. Maybe you're depressed because you're living against your values. Maybe you're depressed because your most basic needs for meaning, connection, and purpose aren't being met. Or maybe you're depressed because you're imprisoned in systems that crush the human spirit, and your depression is the sound of your soul rattling the cage. The philosopher James Hillman suggested that depression is a modern name for what used to be called melancholia, a state the ancients associated with depth, creativity, and wisdom. Hillman wrote that depression is an attempt to gather oneself in order to reimagine one's life. So what happens when we stop fighting our depression and start listening to it? Here's where most depression cures get it backwards. They try to restore your ability to function in the very systems making you sick, to get you back to normal when normal is the problem. What if instead we used our depression as fuel for transformation? What if our collective pain became the fire that forged something new? Throughout history, it's the misfits, the square pegs, the ones who couldn't adjust. They're the ones who created change, who made art that shifted consciousness, who imagined better worlds and then built them. Your inability to adapt to this society might be your greatest strength, but, and this is crucial, you can't do this alone. None of us can. The masterstroke of our current system is how it isolates us in our pain, makes us think our depression is personal failure instead of collective awakening. The antidote to this isn't just individual healing, it's finding each other, building communities of the awake, creating islands of sanity in an insane world. Because the real tragedy isn't your pain, it's that you've been convinced to suffer alone, when so many others are feeling exactly what you feel. You think you're the only one who sees it. You're not. You think you're the only one who can't pretend anymore. You're not. There are millions of us, awakening, remembering, refusing to go back to sleep. So what now? Where do we go from here? First, honor your depression as awareness, not illness. Your pain isn't pathology, it's perception. Second, find others who see what you see. Share your truth, even when your voice shakes, especially when your voice shakes. Third, channel your pain into purpose. The world doesn't need more well-adjusted people. It needs the maladjusted, those who refuse to adapt to what should not be tolerated. As Martin Luther King Jr. said, there are some things in our society and some things in our world which I am proud to be maladjusted. I never intend to adjust myself to economic conditions that will take necessities from the many to give luxury to the few. Finally, remember this: the same sensitivity that makes you suffer is also your greatest gift to the world. Your depth isn't your curse, it's your offering. The poet Rumi wrote, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." Your brokenness isn't your weakness, it's the crack where the light gets in. So no, you're not depressed, you're just awake in a world that prefers you sleeping. You're sane in a society gone mad. You're alive in a culture of death. And that hurts, of course it hurts, it should hurt, But that pain isn't just suffering, it's also your compass, your fire, your refusal to accept what should never be accepted. So yes, welcome to hell. Now let's find each other here and build something new from the ashes. Because that's what happens when we finally wake up. We stop trying to feel better about intolerable conditions and start creating better conditions instead.